Episode 4, The Lion's Den. Thinking about how disastrous it would be to turn Leslie down, Audrey shut her eyes and released a slow, shaky breath. "I'll wear it then, no matter the impression it gives," she murmured, more to herself than anyone else. Fortunately, neither of her parents was home when Leslie's men arrived. The moment she stepped outside, a hard knot tightened in her stomach. The two men assessed her silently, their eyes carrying an unmistakable glint of disapproval. They did not voice it, but they didn't need to. Swallowing her pride, Audrey slipped into the car. She had no idea where they were taking her. The drive felt endless. The silence inside the vehicle was heavy, suffocating. Neither man spoke. Unable to bear it any longer, she finally asked softly, "Where are we headed, please?" "You'll see," the driver replied, glancing at her through the rearview mirror. That was all. Audrey leaned back and rubbed her forehead with trembling fingers, exhaling quietly. The car eventually turned into a floral driveway leading to an enormous glass building. Audrey's breath caught. The place was magnificent. Brilliant lights shimmered across polished surfaces. Luxury cars glided in and out. Elegant guests drifted across the entrance in expensive fabrics and glittering jewelry. The entire environment radiated wealth and power. She had never seen anything like it in her life. Her eyes darted instinctively, searching for Leslie. He was nowhere in sight. "You may alight now, Audrey," the driver said calmly. At once, nervous heat surged from her stomach to her cheeks. Her whole body felt like it was burning, not from the weather, but from humiliation. The worn-out dress clung to her like a public confession of poverty. Stepping out suddenly felt like solving rocket science. Her gaze fixed on the car window. No, she couldn't do this. The thought echoed repeatedly in her head. She simply couldn't. "Audrey," one of the men called, pulling her back to reality. Both men were now facing her. "I said you should alight," the driver repeated, studying her again. His blue eyes glittered with speculation. She considered confessing her fears, just blurting everything out, but the words died in her throat. "All right," she whispered. The door opened abruptly. Before she could gather herself, another man approached, a young, handsome figure in a perfectly tailored black suit. His short hair was neatly styled. His presence was sharp and controlled. "She the one?" he asked with a raised brow. The men nodded stiffly. "All right, follow me." Audrey refused to step out until he turned away. Only then did she carefully place one foot on the ground. Her muscles twitched under pressure. In her peeled black flats, she shut the door gently and swallowed hard. "Hey," the driver called suddenly. She flinched. "Better not screw this up. Leslie hates bashfulness. He's strict, he likes smart. Get yourself together." Audrey stared at him, surprised. Advice, coming from a man like him, was unexpected. He must have noticed her agitation. She inhaled deeply. "All right, Audrey, get it together. You've got this." "This way," the suited man gestured, leading her toward a section that looked even more exclusive. Perhaps the VIP area, she thought. Thank goodness, he hadn't stared long enough to fully notice her indecency. They entered an elevator. The air inside felt reserved, private. When the doors opened, Audrey froze. A line of hefty men in black suits stood along the corridor, arms folded, faces carved from stone. Their presence alone was intimidating. A few steps ahead stood a closed suite door. The man stopped and gestured toward it. "Just go in," he said flatly. "The boss is expecting you." Her heart began to pound violently. This was it. Summoning every fragment of courage she had left, Audrey stepped forward and placed her trembling hand on the doorknob. But suddenly, all that courage vanished. Her heart thudded so hard it felt ready to leap out of her mouth. Cold sweat gathered on her forehead. Her breathing turned shallow. No, she couldn't do this. She couldn't face Leslie. The thought consumed her. But then, she forced herself to breathe. Okay, she could do this. 1 breath. 2. 3. Her eyes widened as the door creaked open with the slightest turn. She hadn't expected it to open so easily. Oh God! Keeping her head lowered, Audrey stepped inside and gently shut the door behind her. The cool air from the conditioner brushed against her heated skin. A subtle, expensive cologne lingered in the room. She shivered. Her heart drummed fiercely against her ribs. Her neck felt stiff, almost incapable of movement. Slowly, cautiously, she lifted her head and met Leslie's eyes. Emerald green. Sharp. Unreadable. A spark of heat prickled her cheeks instantly. He was leaning back in his chair behind a sleek desk, one leg casually positioned against it. His polished black shoe caught the light. He wore a corporate white shirt, perfectly pressed, and tailored black trousers. No tie. The collar slightly open, revealing a glimpse of firm skin beneath. His build was powerful, structured, dominant. His dark shoulder-length hair framed his striking features effortlessly. Audrey stared longer than she should have. Her lips parted without her realizing. Audrey, Leslie's voice cut smoothly through the silence. She blinked, startled. Good evening, Mr. Sir, she stammered. His gaze moved slowly over her, from her brown shoulder-length hair down to her worn flats. His expression revealed nothing. No mockery, no approval, just assessment. Audrey, he said calmly, his tone controlled. It's nice to have you here. Come, have a seat. Was this his office? Or did he own the entire building? She walked toward the chair and sat across from him, lowering her gaze quickly. Her fingers fumbled together on her lap, damp with nervous sweat. Leslie observed every movement, every hesitation, every breath. He raised a brow slightly. Nervous, he asked quietly. Audrey stiffened. Was it truly that obvious? Because in front of him, it felt impossible to hide anything.